This is a car that I'm very excited to drive today. We have a modified 2020 Subaru WRX with a 6-speed manual. The owner, Ethan, is sitting in the passenger seat. Can't quite see him because of the window tint. There he is. But he's done quite a few modifications to his 2020 WRX for track duty. So we've got upgraded brakes. It's been tuned. We've got a nice exhaust, a lot of Perrin parts, some shifter stuff. We're going to hop inside. He's going to talk all about it and tell us what this car has been like to live with and daily drive and track in his ownership. So let's get started. We'll hop inside, start it up, and we'll take this thing for a drive too. Give you guys some driving impressions. All right. Hey, thanks for bringing this out today.
Yeah, for sure.
Been super excited to drive a modded WRX for quite a while. I've only driven stock WRXs pretty much. And this generation is sweet, but I always thought with a few tasteful modifications, you'd have a really good car.
Definitely.
We've put everything in the description, all the modifications, but overall, super clean. This thing has got 34,000 miles on it. You've got a Cobb accessport. You've had it tuned by
Ron Watson at Fat Body Tuning.
Sweet, cool. Excited to test that out. Sweet, well, let me have you walk me around this just a little bit. We'll hop outside. I want to hear the exhaust some.
Yeah, for sure.
That sounds good. First thing I noticed are the brakes.
Yes.
So does this hold up pretty well on track with cooling, brakes, everything?
The brake cooling is actually pretty decent, surprisingly, because I know that tends to be an issue in these cars.
Yep.
But I run Hawk DTC 60s on the track.
Okay.
I have those paired with some Factionfab slotted rotors. There's stainless steel brake lines, and I run Motul RBF600 brake fluid on the track.
And you've got some HPS 5.0s right now, right?
Currently on HPS 5.0.
Sweet, cool. Well, they look like they've seen some track use.
Yes, they have,
some
for sure.
expansion and contraction.
Yeah, I have over 20 track days on this car.
Wow, that's awesome. Proper looking Sparco winter setup here.
Yep,
love the gold, gotta have it. And it looks like you've been having some fun in the dirt too.
Definitely.
Sweet. What about suspension? We've got, you said a bigger rear sway bar.
Yes, so we have a Whiteline rear sway bar that also has some chassis bracing that connects to the rear subframe. I have Whiteline control arms, Kartboy endlinks front and rear, as well as some Factionfab FR spec coilovers. It's more of a track-oriented suspension, as well as a more aggressive alignment over stock.
Awesome. Yep. Sweet. Exhaust?
That is a Remark catback exhaust, and I have that hooked up to a Cobb J-pipe. Which is basically the downpipe for these cars, but it's in a J shape off the turbo.
Sweet.
But that's about it for power mods other than the tune.
Good. Probably a little bit extra response, a little more power there with the tune.
Yeah, mostly for the improved throttle mapping, but I haven't had it on an actual dyno, but virtual dyno says about 260, 270 to the wheels.
Cool. That's great. That's very healthy.
Yeah.
Should feel a little bit better than the new WRX probably.
Yeah.
So.
We'll see. Although I did hear that Subaru definitely improved the engine mapping for the new generation.
It's a lot better.
Over stock.
Oh my gosh, so much better. Let me have you hop in, give it a little rev real quick. I want to hear the exhaust from outside. Cool. Let's pop the hood too.
All right, for sure.
You've done some real tasteful little modifications here. I like these carbon WRX side things.
More of an OEM plus look, not do anything too extreme. Didn't want it to stand out too much other than the gold wheels.
Sweet. What about engine temps on track?
So they're actually pretty good.
Okay.
So oil stays around, with this tune at least, because this is a pretty mild tune.
Sure.
So engine temps usually say around 230 on the oil after 10 to 20 minute sessions.
Wow.
And coolant's usually around 220.
Gosh, my BRZ is at like 270, 280.
Yeah, I don't know if it being a newer car helps with that, or if it's just that it's a really mild tune. Because when I was getting this car tuned, I'm like, this is going to be a daily driver and a track car. I don't need a ton of power. Just make it reliable.
Sure,
That's all I want.
Cool. Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, I'm excited to drive this. This is really cool. Did you paint the headlights?
Yes, I did. So it has an HID kit.
Okay.
This is a base model, so it had halogen stock. So these DRLs used to be these little candle lights. They didn't do anything. So,
yeah, you couldn't see much.
Yeah, so I was like, well, if I have to take the headlight apart for that, I might as well paint it black, just get rid of the chrome.
Awesome. And as I've always said, favorite thing about the WRX, It's so usable. It's so practical. Tons of room in the back seat.
No, the back seat room the trunk room is also great.
You got anything in the trunk?
No.
Let's pop that real quick. Show you guys what that looks like. Awesome. Yeah, you can fold the seats down. You got a spare tire under there. Love it. And you've got your little drift brake thing too. How does this work? You twist it and it will lock up?
No, it doesn't do anything.
It doesn't do anything? Okay.
No, that's just because it's an aftermarket button out there.
I see.
That's
okay,
all.
so it's not like the drift brake where you can like twist it and it'll just you don't have to push it to engage the handbrake. All right, sweet. Let's go for a drive. I'll get used to driving this car for a little bit, and we will see how it is on the road. Yeah, shifter feels great.
It is definitely a bit different from the stock.
Oh yeah.
I also have a Perrin transmission, shifter bushing.
Okay.
So that definitely helps with the feel a little bit.
Yeah, everything feels nice and tight.
I believe it also has the OEM short throw shifter kit.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a little bit of a difference. I drove a new WRX recently with a bunch of the bracing, and it felt like an STI. I mean, it's amazing how much of a difference that makes.
2022, you mean?
Yeah, 2022 WRX,
okay.
yeah.
Was that the video you did out in California?
Yeah.
I did see that.
Yeah, that was fun. I mean, the biggest thing the new cars need is just a brake upgrade. The stock pads are terrible.
They've definitely done some work on the suspension and chassis.
Yeah. Oh, it's happy.
Yeah.
I can feel there's some good power here.
Yeah. Ready to go.
It's such a tight car.
Yeah.
The coilovers feel good.
Yeah.
I bet this is a blast on track.
Yeah, no, it is. It's definitely a little bit muted with the blizzak because they kind of hide the personality of it a little bit.
Sure,
but
takes the edge off, loses some of the sharpness.
Yeah, the nice thing about the blizzaks though is they do dampen the ride a little bit more for the street.
Sure, yeah.
Because on summers it is stiff.
On Michigan roads, you need that a little bit.
Yeah, it's great on track, but
these are 235, 45, 17s?
Correct.
Okay, cool.
OEM tire size.
All right, nice.
I am going to try a 225 summer tire next summer though.
Yeah, I don't know if a wider tire is necessarily faster or better.
Yeah, because I watched a video from Tire Rack.
That was the best video ever.
That video was awesome.
Amazing.
Where they found that having the wheel support the tire actually makes it faster. So it's not all about sticking the widest tire you can on there, because having a lot of support from the wheel helps the sidewall to give you better turning response, which is, I was like, okay, let's try 225 next summer. That's
the video we've all been waiting for.
Yes, no, that video was incredible.
The mid-range here is awesome.
For sure.
It feels really good.
It's so nice to be in a car with someone who can drive this thing properly.
This feels great, man.
Thank you.
This is fun. Yeah, you're right about these winter tires.
Yeah. These
blizzaks have their limits.
Yeah, definitely.
But super neutral, really well balanced around the corner. Power does fall off a little bit at higher revs like the stock car does.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Can't hide the characteristics of the engine.
Yeah. You probably have to get an upgraded turbo to really go crazy, but this feels really nice. Good tune.
Yeah.
The clutch took a little bit of getting used to.
For sure.
But I love the shifter.
Yeah, that was my main complaint about the stock car. It's just everything felt a little loose for my tastes.
Exhaust sounds good. Only gets loud when you get into it.
Yeah. I used to have a muffler delete on here and it was atrocious.
Yeah.
So I'm like, we're gonna get this thing a proper catback system.
Subaru is just, they don't love muffler deletes.
No. I think they sound kind of B-series Honda.
Yeah.
Not that that's a bad thing, but it just makes it not sound like a Subaru.
Yep. No, this sounds nice. I mean, this FA20, it didn't sound particularly good from the factory.
Yeah.
And with a couple little mods, it sounds great.
It definitely wakes up.
Yep. Love the throttle response.
Yeah. Get a little temperature into those HPSs.
Yeah. We'll hold back here just a little bit, let this truck get ahead.
Yeah, for sure. can also turn traction control into sport if you want.
Oh yeah, let's do that. Brakes feel great.
Yeah.
Easy to heel toe. Oh, it's a good time.
Yeah.
That's pedal feel. That's what you want right there.
Yeah, for sure. Sway bar definitely helps to get the car more neutral balance.
Sure.
Definitely get a little more lift off over
That's
steer.
good. Oh yeah. You feel that with the winter tires a little bit more too.
Yeah,
probably.
for sure. That is the one nice thing I do like about the winter tires. Is even though you have a little less grip to play with, you definitely feel the weight transfer of the car a lot more.
Yep. And I've got to say, these WRXs, the WRX and the STI, almost nothing rotates like these cars on dirt. It's like off throttle.
Yeah,
they
dirt and snow. These cars are fantastic.
So
That's why I was like kind of hoping we got a little bit of snow for this,
I
because it was
know.
like this car is a blast in the snow.
Yeah, maybe later this year. Who
Yeah.
knows? Maybe February, March.
Yeah. But you are more than welcome to drive it again if we do get some snow.
Oh, that'd be awesome. We should take it out to we could take it out to Jackson Speedway or something.
Yeah.
Do a WRX BRZ snow,
Yeah,
drift
that would be
fest.
so cool.
Yeah, this sounds great.
Yeah.
At higher speeds, you kind of lose all the little tones with the winter
Yeah,
tires
for
and the
sure.
wind noise, but this is fun. Brakes are good.
Yeah.
We're tire limited today, that's all.
We're definitely tire limited today.
Awesome. This actually feels pretty similar power-wise and torque-wise to the new WRX, and
Yeah.
that's a pretty high compliment because they really, they increase the drivability stock for stock with the new WRX so much.
Yeah, definitely.
It's easier to drive, it has a lot of torque, it's really responsive, and that's what this feels like.
Yeah, and that was the thing. I was like, I didn't want to go too overboard with the power stuff, especially because it's a daily, and I didn't want the temps to get too hot in track. So
Yep.
I was like, let's just focus on getting the drivability sorted out. And I was like, yeah, I don't really think I need too much more power on it.
No, this is perfect. You've done some great mods here. Everything is tasteful, it's not too much.
Yeah.
It's not going outside the bounds of what this car was intended for and built
Yeah,
for. So,
sure.
do you have an oil temp gauge in
I
the car,
do.
or is it just
It's on the accessport, but it is also here as well.
Okay, that's right. Nice. Good. You got your boost pressure, acceleration, percentage.
Yep.
Does this have throttle modes? The
It
S
does not.
plus and
Yeah,
everything?
it's just one map.
Sweet. And I assume you can go in and kind of tweak that too a
Yes,
little
you
bit.
can change
here
all
and
those gauges to whatever you like.
there. Okay. Yeah, I don't have a lot of experience with the Cobb accessport, but it seems like a
Yeah.
pretty cool tool.
Yeah, especially on track. It's great to check the gauges when you're going down a straight. I have it set for knock, obviously.
Sure, yeah.
Just make sure everything's good. So definitely try to keep an eye on that when I'm driving hard.
Yeah. And it also probably helps too, here in Michigan, we don't have super hot track days like California
Yeah,
does. It's not 100
yeah.
plus degrees. You
Like,
know?
the hottest you're really going to see is 80.
Yeah.
And it's like, with a lot of the groups that I've run with for HPD, it's like not a big deal if you want to take a cool down lap in mid-session. Waterford, I've noticed that's where I see the highest track temps.
Sure. Yeah, there's just not a lot of air flowing through. There's a lot of
Yeah.
braking zones, a lot of
Yeah.
acceleration, stopping braking. Yeah. Yeah, I run Gingerman a lot, and
Gingerman is definitely a
gosh.
favorite.
I've never been able to keep a car cool at Gingerman. The only car was my Miata,
Yep.
and the brakes worked great because it doesn't have any power to get up to speed. My Type R works pretty well. I didn't put the right
Yeah.
pads on this last track day,
Yeah.
but yeah.
One track that I'm kind of surprised by, this car is surprisingly strong at Groton, even though it's like
Yeah.
a mid to high speed track. Granted, I'm not a professional driver by any means, but I have gotten almost a sub 130 out of it.
That's pretty quick.
I got a
That's great.
130.9 out of this car.
Wow.
Yeah, it usually runs 131, so it's definitely pretty good.
That's about
at
what I
Groton.
did in the Type R this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely struggles a little more at Gingerman with the double apexes,
Okay.
but
Yeah, we got some good tracks here in Michigan.
yeah,
They're all
we
not too
definitely
far.
do. Between Waterford, Gingerman, and Groton. We've got some good stuff. I've never driven M1 though.
Okay, yeah, M1's a little bit small, a little bit tighter, kind of slippery, but it is a fun track.
Yeah.
Is it pretty safe to roll into boost around $3,000 in this?
Yes, I would say so.
Yeah, I can definitely feel a little bit more NVH with like stiffer bushings and things.
Yeah, because that's the other thing about this coilover suspension is, unlike the stock shocks, it does not have a rubber top hat.
Sure.
It's just suspension on frame.
Well, when you want it, it's a good thing.
Yeah, definitely.
So sweet to drive. Just one of the best sports sedans, you know, and the fact is,
especially for the money.
Absolutely, yeah, no, the price on these cars is just great. It's affordable, it's accessible, there's a good aftermarket.
I think for anyone hopping into one, there's a bit of a question of whether you want to spend the money to mod it to be as fast as an STI with maybe a little more track capability than one out of the box. But I think if you're just using it as a street car, there is definitely an argument for just getting an STI, because you're getting a more communicative steering rack, you're getting a stronger transmission, and obviously you're getting the differentials. So it is definitely something to consider. But
yeah.
I think each car has its strengths and weaknesses. Because another nice thing, even with the tune, this car still gets good gas mileage.
Yeah, what are you averaging usually?
So when I drive it, when I'm reserved with it on longer drives or on the highway, I can actually get over 30 on it.
Wow.
I believe it's rated for 25 combined, something like that, but it'll definitely fluctuate depending on how you drive it. You get it above that if you're reserved with it, but you're probably not always going to be reserved with it. So.
Sure. Yeah, it is fun to get into boost.
Yeah.
Yeah, clutch feel is good too. Yeah. Very low catch point in this. Yeah, we can play in the dirt and snow someday.
Yeah.
This is my dirt road route, but it's just torn up right now.
Yeah.
It's so bumpy.
Yeah.
It's no fun. Let's see here. If this guy turns, we might sneak around this truck.
Yeah, definitely a good time in the dirt and the snow.
Yeah. That's the best thing about these is they can do everything.
Yeah.
You drive year round.
Not the best at any one thing, but you can do anything in it, and it'll still give you good gas mileage.
Sure.
Well, decent gas mileage.
And they're fun. Sometimes cars that try to be jack of all trades just get a little bit boring.
Yeah.
But the WRX, the STI, they have personality. Part of that's the engine sound. Part of that's the feedback.
And what I like about this car is, even for it being a newer car, is it's very minimalistic.
It is.
It's not overburdened with technology. There's like no driver's assists on it, and I kind of like that. It's a little bare bones.
There's no stupid tablet screen like the new car has. And 7,000 RPM is pretty nice.
Yeah.
Gives you some revs to play with, even though you usually short shift because the power drop off.
Power kind of cuts off at 5.5, 6.
Yep.
It's like, if you need the extra gearing for particularly that second straight on Gingerman, it's like just too short to go into fourth, and then it's like you got to downshift again right away.
No, I love it. The controls here are great too. I mean, everything's simple, easy,
physical.
Yep. Do you have CarPlay?
It does have wired CarPlay and Android Auto.
Perfect. Yeah, I always just get, if you want wireless CarPlay, I just get like a $14 wireless dongle on Amazon or something. You know, it works pretty well. Maybe it's $40, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I use is just to connect my phone for Spotify.
Sure.
Like, I just pull up the directions on Google Maps and just listen for it.
It's funny because this day and age, this is like the smallest infotainment screen ever, but it's perfect. It's great.
It's all you need.
I bet it works.
It does, and the response time on it is decent enough.
Yeah, that's great.
You don't need anything else.
Yeah, I mean, I think my biggest complaint with the stock WRX has always been the engine tune, the throttle mapping, and just kind of your interaction with the boxer 4-cylinder.
Right.
And I thought a tune would always fix that.
Yeah.
And this verifies my thoughts.
Yeah, it's a decent engine, strong mid-range power. You know, you're lacking that really strong top end you get in a lot of sports cars, but for something that you're using as a daily anti-track car, it's not too big of a deal.
Sure. Yeah, I always found these kind of hard to drive in stock form because the
throttle mapping is very strange. It's like
weird, yeah.
I always found like 30% throttle, it'll either give you anywhere from 50 to 90%.
That's right. It's just very non-linear.
And the other thing is it always, stock tune cuts timing all the time.
Yeah.
Like you don't know what you're going to get when you press your foot down. Are you going to get 260 horsepower or are you going to get 210? You don't really know.
That's
it
exactly
still cuts
right.
timing sometimes with this, but it's a little more consistent.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I noticed.
It's like some poles are like, you get a little more than you would on others, but
also clutch feels a little bit strange. This is, of course, a little bit trickier of a car to drive initially.
Yeah.
That clutch grabs so fast and so abruptly.
Yes.
But you can also tune that a little bit with helper springs. I put an
Right.
MTEX helper spring on my BRZ, and that helped a lot.
Yeah.
Or some people even just remove the helper spring.
Yeah, that's why I did that clutch line, because even though it doesn't necessarily fix the engagement point, it helps you find the engagement point.
Sure.
Because that was one thing I didn't like with the stock clutches. I just had no idea what it was doing.
Now that makes a difference. It helps. Just a couple little things that Subaru, didn't quite do a great job on that you can address with the aftermarket.
Yeah.
And they're easy fixes.
Exactly. It's like none of those things are too terribly expensive. They're not hard work. It's just fun little projects.
Yeah, and it is fun to tinker and kind of like make these little incremental improvements with time.
Yeah, exactly.
I like this ball shift knob too. It just feels good.
Yeah.
It's only the really big bumps that kind of
do unsettle
the car. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely not a street-oriented suspension, but for what it's worth, it does okay over most stuff.
Sure.
A little stiff, but
how's the big bump going onto the back straight of Grattan? Or front straight?
It's not bad.
Not too bad?
Yeah,
Soaks
it can handle that because it's smooth pavement, so it's able to deal with it a little bit better.
Good. Well, cool, man. This has been a pleasure.
Yeah,
thanks so much for
of course.
bringing this out and sharing your car. And I'm really most surprised about how cool this stays on track. Because I always thought turbo Subaru is just going to get hot and stay hot.
Yeah, when I had it, I originally did have it on the Cobb tune before I got like my own tune for it, and it did get quite a bit hotter. Then I was seeing 260, 270. So I do think having a more mild tune on it has definitely helped. And like I'm happy to sacrifice a little bit of peak power for lower temps.
Sure. No, that saves your motor. It's just
exactly.
easy peace of mind. You can enjoy it for longer sessions and kind of maintained that if I needed one car to do a little bit of everything and I didn't have my BRZ, a WRX would be a great choice.
Do you still have the lift kit on the BRZ?
Oh yeah.
Okay, nice.
It's a blast.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
I am curious how this car would do against a Type R on track.
Yeah. At Grattan, I was
Grattan,
running
yes.
a 130,
Yeah.
which is very close.
Right, because what I'm interested in is even though these cars are very similar in terms of peak capability, they probably feel extremely different to drive at the limit.
They do.
And it's like that's what it's so interesting is you can have two cars that are like very similar performance-wise, but drive totally different.
Yeah. Yeah, I was doing, I think, was it like a 140, was it a 145 at
That's a really good time at Gingerman.
Yeah, I think it's around a 145.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
Gingerman's not my strongest track. I think best I've done is a 148, but that was also on used tire. Very worn RE71Rs.
Well, maybe we'll do a track day together someday.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Do a lap battle.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
What's that show? That hot version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. That'd be awesome. Cool. Well, thanks again, Ethan.
Yeah, for
Much
sure.
appreciated. We'll park this here, do
Sounds
another
good.
walk around real quick, and that'll be a wrap. We'll leave it running, let things cool off a little bit. Sweet. Yeah, and I mean, also, like, considering the WRX's history, this is actually a pretty nice interior.
Yeah, it's not bad, especially for base model.
Yeah, letter on the steering wheel.
Yeah,
You got the soft padding here.
When you get the upgraded, the premium, you get the leather seats too, which are pretty nice. I don't mind these cloth ones though.
No, they're great. I mean, they'll last forever, and you've kept it super clean in here. So.
Yeah, for sure. Easy to keep clean.
Was this factory?
Yes.
This wasn't factory?
No, I did change to the Alcantara shift boot.
Okay. And the handbrake.
So
and
that
right
piece,
here.
that piece,
Nice.
that piece, and then this is usually gray. I swapped to do a black and red one.
Nice. Yeah, a little extra flare there.
Go better with the color scheme of the interior with the red highlights.
Yep. Cool, guys. Well, anyway, I think that's going to be a wrap for this video. Thanks so much for watching, and thanks again to Ethan for bringing this out. Again, if you want all the details on this car, go check out the description. But this has been fun. Maybe we'll spend some more time in this later this year. Take it out in some snow, hoon a bit, maybe do some stuff on track someday with Ethan. But for now, that was a fun street drive. Go drive this a little bit more and probably just do some driving without any talking so you guys can just hear the car.